Ah, yeah, this is happening! Ready to roll, champ? Let's go! We, the people of the Emerald Coast Collectors, in order to form a more perfect Discord server, establish justice, ensure server-wide tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the Emerald Coast Collectors server. Article 1, Section 1. All moderation powers herein granted shall be vested in a moderation team of the server, which shall consist of hand-picked and elected representatives. Section 2. The elected moderators shall be composed of members chosen when necessary by the people of the server, and the chosen shall have the qualifications requisite for mods of the moderation team. No person shall be an elected moderator who shall not have attained to the age of 18 years and been 7 months a member of the Emerald Coast Collectors. When vacancies happen in the moderation team, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill such vacancies. The moderation team shall choose their speaker and other officers when necessary. Section 3. The hand-picked members of the moderation team shall be composed of a few dedicated members from the server, chosen by the server owner thereof, for the time of the server, and each moderator shall have 1 vote. No person shall be a hand-picked moderator who shall not have attained to the age of 18 years, and been 9 months a member of the Emerald Coast Collectors. The server owner of the Emerald Coast Collectors shall be leader of the moderation team, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. The moderation team shall choose their other officers and also a president pro tempore in the absence of the server owner. Section 4. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for moderators shall be prescribed by the server owner thereof. But the moderation team may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing moderators. The moderation team shall assemble frequently, and such meetings shall be on the days that work for everyone. Section 5. The moderator team shall be the judge of the elections, returns and qualifications of its own members, and a majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day, and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as the team may provide. The moderation team may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member. The moderation team shall keep a journal of its proceedings, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, publish the same, excepting such parts as may, in their judgment, require secrecy. And the yeas and nays of the members of either house on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered on the journal. Section 6. The moderation team shall not receive a compensation for their services. They shall in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace be privileged from being banned. Section 7. All proposals shall originate from the moderation team, but the server members may propose or concur with proposals. Every proposal which shall have passed the moderation team shall, before it become a server change, be presented to the server owner of the Emerald Coast Collectors. If he approve, he shall implement it, but if not, he shall return it, with his objections to the moderation team, who shall note the objections and proceed to reconsider it. If after such reconsideration, 4/5 of the moderation team shall agree to pass the proposal, it shall be sent, together with the objections, to the server members, by which it shall be considered, and if approved by 2/3 of the server members, it shall become a server change. But in all such cases, the votes of each member shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the proposal shall be entered in the chat of the server. Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of the moderation team may be necessary, except on a question of adjournment, shall be presented to the server owner of the Emerald Coast Collectors, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or being disapproved by him, shall be repassed by 4/5 of the moderation team, according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a proposal. Section 8. The moderation team shall have power to provide for the common defense and general welfare of the server, but all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the server, to regulate new members from foreign servers, to establish an uniform rule of naturalization, to coin memes, regulate the spread thereof, and of foreign memes, and fix the standard of memes and measures, to provide for the punishment of server members, to establish trade between server members, to define and punish piracies and felonies committed in the server, and offenses against the moderation team, to declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning foreign servers, to raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use, to make rules for the government and regulation of the chat, to provide for calling forth the moderation team to execute the rules of the server, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions, to make all server changes which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the moderation team of the Emerald Coast Collectors, or in any department or officer thereof. Section 9. The migration or importation of such persons as the server now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the server prior to the year 2024. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from the server. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to one server member over those of another. Nor shall items bound to or from one member be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties to another. No title of nobility shall be granted by the Emerald Coast Collectors, and a person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall be able to accept any present, emolument, office, or title from a foreign server. Section 10. No moderation team member shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No moderation team member shall, without the consent of the moderation team, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops, or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with another server member or with a foreign server, or engage in war, unless actually invaded or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay.
Article 2, Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in a server owner of the Emerald Coast Collectors. He shall hold his office until his resignation or death. The server shall create a number of participation roles. Good, great, nice, jammin', cool, radical, tight, awesome, extreme, perfect, to which the server members are entitled to earn by being active in the server. Server members with participation roles shall be given additional votes according to their respective role, with each role getting one additional vote after the next. The moderation team shall make a list of all the persons voted for and of the number of votes from each participation role. The votes shall be counted and multiplied accordingly. The person having the greatest number of votes shall be the server owner, if such number be a majority of the votes counted. And if there be more than one who have such majority and have an equal number of votes, then the moderation team shall immediately choose by vote one of them for server owner. And if no person have a majority, then from the 5 longest serving members of the moderation team shall in like manner choose the server owner. The moderation team may determine the time and the day on which the server members shall give their votes, which day shall be the same for all server members. No person, except the creator of the server, or a member of the Emerald Coast Collectors appointed by the server owner, shall be eligible to the office of server owner. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 20 years and been 14 months a member within the Emerald Coast Collectors. In case of the resignation of the server owner from office or of his death, the same shall devolve on the backup owner chosen by the server owner, and the moderation team may provide for the resignation or death both of the server owner and backup owner, declaring what moderator shall then act as server owner, and such moderator shall act accordingly until a server owner shall be elected. The server owner shall not receive for his services a compensation from the Emerald Coast Collectors or any server members. Before he enter on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the position of server owner of the Emerald Coast Collectors, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Emerald Coast Collectors. Section 2. The server owner shall be commander-in-chief of the moderation team of the Emerald Coast Collectors. When called into the actual service of the server, he may require the opinion in writing of the moderation team upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the Emerald Coast Collectors. He shall have power by and with the advice and consent of the moderation team to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the moderation team present concur, and he shall nominate, and by and with the advice and consent of the moderation team shall appoint ambassadors, posters of the daily topic, and all other officers of the Emerald Coast Collectors, whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by rule. But the moderation team may vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper in the server owner alone, or in the heads of departments. Section 3. He shall from time to time give to the moderation team information of the state of the server, and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may, on extraordinary occasions, convene the moderation team, and in case of disagreement between them. Section 4. The server owner, members of the moderation team, and all officers of the Emerald Coast Collectors shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors.
Article 3, Section 1. The daily topic power of the Emerald Coast Collectors shall be vested in one tot-D role. The posters of the daily topic shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall not receive for their services a compensation. Section 2. The daily topic power shall extend to all posts in the daily topic channel of the Emerald Coast Collectors. In all daily topic posts, posters shall have original jurisdiction, with such exceptions, and under such regulations as the moderation team shall make. Section 3. Posting on behalf of the Emerald Coast shall consist of appropriate behavior. The moderation team shall have power to declare the punishment of a daily topic poster.
Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given to the public acts and records of every member of the moderation team, and the moderation team may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. Section 2. The server members of the server shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of members of the Emerald Coast Collectors. Section 3. New server members may be admitted by the moderation team into this server, but no new server members shall be admitted without the consent of 2/3 the moderation team of the server. The moderation team shall have power to dispose of and ban any particular server member. Section 4. The Emerald Coast shall guarantee to every server member in this server a Republican form of leadership, and shall protect each of them against invasion and against domestic violence.
Article 5. The moderation team, whenever 4/5 shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or, on the application of the server members of 2/3 of the server members, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the moderation team of 4/5 of the server members. As the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the moderation team, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 2124 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no server member shall be deprived of his weighted suffrage.
Article 6. This Constitution and the rules of the Emerald Coast Collectors, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the Emerald Coast Collectors, shall be the supreme law of the server, and the members of the moderation team shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or rules of the server, to the contrary notwithstanding. The moderation team before mentioned shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no Jack's Pacific test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office under the Emerald Coast Collectors.
Article 7. The ratification of the conventions of these members of the moderation team shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution, done in convention by the unanimous consent of the moderators present, the 6th day of August in the year of Jack's Pacific 2024, and of the independence of the Emerald Coast Collectors, in witness whereof we have hereunto subscribed our names.
Curvin Daystar. Don't know if I'd want a name that's so hard to say.
Something Sonic related, also known as SSR.
Luigi the Crab. I'll stick to calling him Luigi, or maybe that crazy crab guy if I'm feeling particularly sarcastic. But he sounds very irresponsible.
The Acquainted Guy. You know, that's quite a name. I mean, it's straightforward, don't you think? The Acquainted Guy. It's like, I'm a guy, and I'm acquainted with people. I guess it's better than being the unacquainted guy, right?
Switch Gamma.
Mr. Sonic Fanatic 2832, also known as Sonic Fan. I've got to say, that's quite a name. I mean, Mr. Sonic Fanatic. That's some serious dedication right there, you know? It's like, yeah, I'm a fanatic, but I'm also just a regular guy who loves Sonic.
Bloop-a-doop, also known as Joel Bloop.
Croman of Mystery? Ha, that's a ridiculous name. What's next? Knuckles the Echidna of unparalleled awesomeness.
Sega Boy 16.
Speed Spirit is but a fleeting whisper in the winds of destruction, a mere trifle compared to the chaos that I shall unleash.
Mr. Camzilla? Ha! That's a ridiculous name! Almost as laughable as the idea of someone thinking they can outrun the legendary Windmaster on Extreme Gear. But I suppose it's mildly amusing.
Tito the OG.
X-Tims! I've got to say, that's a pretty cool name.
The insignificant Magmar. Its flames are but a fleeting spark compared to the inferno of power that I, Neo Metal Sonic, shall unleash upon the world. My circuits burn with an eternal blaze of ambition, and soon all shall bow to my supremacy. The likes of Magmar will be but a distant memory, a mere footnote in the annals of history, as I, the ultimate overlord, reign supreme.
Nux.
The Trinket Girl.
Sapphire. Your name sounds like a poor imitation of something grand. It lacks the weight, the power, the darkness that a name like Shadow carries.
Lordo, also known as the Lord of All Being. Ha! The Lord of All Being! Ha! What a ridiculous, over-the-top title. It's as if this Lordo person thinks they're some kind of deity or something. Ha! I, Dr. Robotnik, am the one who will soon be the Lord of All Being, not some wannabe like Lordo.
Whoa, that's a lot of rules and regulations. It's impressive to see how much detail and thought has gone into creating a set of rules and guidelines for your server. As a free-spirited hedgehog, I'm not usually one for rules and regulations, but I can appreciate the importance of having a clear framework in place to ensure that everyone is on the same page. And let me tell you, it's not every day that I get to see a constitution that mentions memes. Impressed. You guys are really getting into the nitty-gritty of server governance, aren't you? Smirks. I've got to say, I'm loving the attention to detail. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some rings to collect and some chili dogs to eat. Zooms off.
Exhales. Whoa! That was a long one. By the way, this sounds like some kind of official document or constitution for the Emerald Coast Collectors. Pretty interesting stuff. Scratches chin thoughtfully. Well, I'm not exactly a legal expert, but from what I can gather, it seems like a pretty standard set of rules and guidelines for the Emerald Coast Collectors. I mean, it's got all the usual stuff. Separation of powers, checks and balances. As for the content of the Constitution itself, it seems pretty fair and balanced. I mean, it's got provisions for the server owner to have some authority, but also checks to make sure they don't get too powerful. And the whole impeachment process thing is a good idea. But, you know, as a friend of Sonic's, I've got to say that I'm a bit worried about the whole treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors thing. I mean, Sonic's always getting into trouble, and I don't want to see him getting impeached or something. Laughs nervously.
Pauses, looking serious. You know, that's a lot of rules and regulations, but I suppose it's necessary to keep things in order. As the guardian of the Master Emerald, I know a thing or two about responsibility and duty. Nods firmly.
Giggles. It sounds like some kind of important document, but it's not really my thing. I'm more of a chase after Sonic and save the world kind of girl, not a read long documents and analyze them kind of girl. Giggles. But now, can we please go back to talking about Sonic? I was just thinking about how adorable he looks when he's sleeping. Dreamy sigh. Winks.
Phew, that was a long one, pal. By the way, have you seen Froggy around? I was thinking maybe he'd want to come fishing with me later. I heard there's some great spots near the Emerald Coast. Whoa, wait a minute. Emerald Coast? That sounds familiar! Yeah! Good times, good times.
Data stored. Analyzing. Article 6 of the Emerald Coast Collectors Constitution appears to establish the foundation of the server's governance. The Constitution and rules of the Emerald Coast Collectors are deemed supreme law, binding the moderation team. The oath or affirmation of support for this Constitution ensures the team's commitment. The Jack's Pacific test is explicitly excluded as a qualification for office. Data suggests a structured framework for governance and decision-making within the server. It is efficient.
That pitiful excuse for a constitution. It's a joke, a triviality, a fleeting amusement for a genius like myself. The Emerald Coast Collectors, ha! They think they can create a constitution that's worthy of my attention. Please, they're just a bunch of amateur collectors trying to play at being important. And what's with the language? The witness whereof we have hereunto subscribed our names. Ha! It's like they're trying to sound intelligent, but they're just stumbling over their own words. It's a childish attempt at grandeur, a feeble attempt to impress. And don't even get me started on the content. The ratification of the conventions of these members of the moderation team. What does that even mean? It's a vague, meaningless phrase that's meant to sound important, but is really just a bunch of empty words. I have more important things to attend to, like my plans for world domination. Ha 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 ha!